why don't we have an International Men's Day? Why do we celebrate International Women's Day and not International Men's Day? So I thought a lot about that because I think that there's a lot of confusion out there, and I just want to explain why we have it. So this is what I explained to him. I said, we have an International Women's Day every year on the 8th of March because there is no level playing field between men and women. And we celebrate it because we want to bring attention to this fact. We want people to know that women are the largest discriminated group in the world. In every disadvantaged group, they constitute the largest group, even within that. And that men have always had a historical advantage in every field, and they have this incredible learning curve advantage. And unless women are given special rights, and unless there's affirmative action for us and positive discrimination, there's no possibility of closing the gaps, we call them gender gaps, between men and women. So I thought I'd look at what is our situation today compared to what our situation was, a decade or so ago. So in 2009, we were ranked 103 in the world out of 135 countries. This is the World Economic Forum ranking, their special ranking system. In 2020, we are still ranked 103. So wow. We have made no progress over a decade. So, this is not about individual successful women. Individual successful women are there. They are what they are. They've made it despite the obstacles. But as a group, we have not advanced as a group. So this is something that is really, really concerning to me. And some of the examples given about why, some of the indicators used about why we haven't progressed is you just look at some of these special gender indicators. So if you look at the labor market where women are working, the World Bank says only 39% of adult females of working age are earning an income compared to 78% of men. And women have a higher unemployment rate. And during COVID, who do you think lost their jobs at a higher rate? Women. Now, this data is actually before looking at the COVID data. So you can imagine how much wider the gender gap is between men and women. The second thing I looked at is to see to what degree do women own businesses in Fiji. And what I found was that only 19% of businesses are registered to women. And almost all of them are micro and small enterprises. Then I looked at time poverty. Time poverty is how much time do people have to do the things they want to do. And this is the data I found. Employed women, so women who work inside the home and outside the home, bringing money in from outside, work an average of 64 hours a week on paid and unpaid work, compared to men who work 49 hours. And one study showed that women on average work 5 hours a day more than men. And that 5 hours a day is unpaid work. So women suffer a lot of time poverty. I think most of you know already that 1 in 3 women suffer violence at the hands of men globally, but in Fiji, it's 2/3, 2 out of 3 women. So this is again, a very concerning thing. In a study by the Fiji Women's Rights Movement, the study showed that out of 1,000 women interviewed, 20 had experienced sexual harassment. So 1 in every 5 women in the working environment suffered sexual harassment, which has an impact on whether or not they're willing to go to work to earn an income. So there's a direct link between sexual harassment and being able to earn an income in the paid marketplace. And the areas with the highest incidence of harassment were the tourism industry, accommodation, hotel, restaurants, and bars, followed by the public service. 3rd was health, and 4th was the retail sector. And I'm just going to share a couple of more indicators because I think it's important. In Parliament, only 17% of Parliament are women. So it's well below the target of 30%, which we're meant to have achieved by 2020. And why is it important? People say, well, why is it important? It doesn't matter if there's, what the gender is in Parliament. Well, it does matter, because our research shows that more women in Parliament means better rights for women, better rights to decent wages, more childcare, and more family supportive legislation. So that, again, there's a direct link between more women in Parliament and more policies and legislation helping women.